guys, Chris here from the Amp Life. Welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, as promised a while ago, we're going to be talking about walking down a hill. I spoke about having another episode on walking with a KICKASS gait, and the idea is that this is it. It's been a while. I promised we'd do this earlier in the lockdown, but things have been a little hectic, but here we are. Let's get down to it. So I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to recap on 3 basics. I'm going to add one more to really get that gait going well, just normal walking. And then I'm going to give a few tips on descending, ascending hills and how to make things easier for ourselves. All right guys, in that first video I spoke about 3 really key things we need to do. The first is straighten the back, get the posture nice and straight up as though somebody's pulling you up. That means number 2, getting your head right up there, straightening out the body. And the third is to walk with the hips forward, almost as though somebody is pushing you forward. The fourth one I want to talk about is to really use those arms and to roll the shoulders through the walk. So I'm going to walk up and down now. I'll tell you what I'm doing while I'm doing that, and then it's up to you to go and practice this at home, and it really works. All right guys, here we go. So you'll see as I'm walking, I got my hips forward, I'm swinging the arms, I've got my back nice and straight, and idea is to keep the head right up there. So let me go through that again. Nice gait, move the legs, move the shoulders, back straight up, head up, hips forward. I'll give you a nice, easy gait. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked, I think almost the most on this, is how to go up and down hills, and that is, I think, definitely one of the most difficult things to get used to as an amputee. I am a left leg through knee amputee. That means I've got no voluntary movement of my left knee, and that makes things difficult. To make things worse, if you've got a knee that doesn't have resistance as it goes, like the Rio XC that I wear, it does make things a little bit more difficult, but I'll explain a way to do that. It is possible. I wore one for a long time before I got this leg. So I think it's important to note here that we've got a slope running top to bottom. That makes it very difficult to walk with the amputated leg upslope. Obviously, because you've got to swing the leg through and you tend to want to get a toe strike. The nice thing about the leg that I've got, the setup, is that I've got a proprio foot, and what that does is it adjusts. As I move, the toe will lift the minute it senses that I'm going up a hill, and when that toe lifts, the leg can swing through better and it mitigates any chance of a toe strike. And then as you walk, you take a step or 2 on level ground again, it'll rectify itself again. Also, when you walk downhill, it'll do the opposite. It'll drop the toe a bit, and what that does is it gives you a better grip on the surface, and likewise, the moment you're on flat surface, the foot levels out again, and it gives you the regular foot strike that you would get with a foot that's not adjusting. All of this happens in the foot with the gyroscope, and it's amazingly effective. I really want to urge you, if you've got I don't know what foot you're using at the moment. There's a lot of prosthetic feet out there, but to ask your prosthetist to try this proprio foot. It's truly remarkable. I was a bit worried in the beginning about its robustness because I get out there a lot, but it's a tough foot. I've hiked through Utah, I've hiked the mountains in this area. I went for a hike this morning. It hasn't let me down yet, so and I don't think it will. Really, it's worth giving a shot to really add the finishing touches to that gait. Also to bear in mind today, this is an uneven surface. You'll see there's grass, the little humps in the soil. That makes it difficult, but I thought it'd make it more difficult for a better challenge. Put this knee and this foot to the test a little, and really, because we don't always walk on ideal surfaces, we are inclined to encounter areas where there'll be differences in height as the paving differs, and we encounter obstacles on the surface. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk around. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing while I'm walking around. You can go back, play the video back and forward, and try and pick up on some of these tips. So I'm just going to do the up and down walk again, and as I said, it's butt forward, straight back, head up, and roll those shoulders, swing the arms. Something really important, something I call the recovery step, and what I mean by that is if you find a situation where you do get a toe strike, to recover is to put all the pressure on the good leg, on the sound side, to be able to recover and not to fall. And essentially what I do in a situation like that is the moment I get a toe strike and I feel myself going down, is I recover by doing a short step. It is a lifesaver. Maybe you know what I'm referring to when I say that, but I think it's really important to get that recovery step. If you're going to take risks in trying to ride the knee or do things a little differently after this video, I'm going to encourage you to think about that little recovery hop if you get the toe strike to get yourself back into balance. All right, so I'm just going to walk. Now we've got the slope doing this at the moment, which makes it a bit more difficult because this leg is to want to hit the surface. And the idea is whenever you have to go down a slope, the best thing to do is to crosswalk the slope with the prosthetic leg on the downhill side, because you've got that decent swing that you can get with that leg. So it definitely mitigates the chances of a toe strike. And the minute you walk the other way around, you're much more inclined to get that leg to hit the surface. So what do I do to compensate for that is I ride my hip a little bit and I pull up the leg just a little bit. It's not as though we walk like that all the time, it's just for the little bit that we do that. And what I mean by that is I step and I ride the leg a little bit. Step on the toes. The whole idea is to get clearance between the prosthetic leg and the swell, the prosthetic foot and the swell. Back that way again, of course, it's no problem. It's straightforward stuff. So I'm going to do it once more to illustrate what I mean. It's step, ride the hip and ride the toes a little bit to get some height on the prosthetic leg to pull it up. It becomes second nature after a while. You just get used to it. And for me, the big thing is to learn how to walk without having to stare at the ground all the time, to be able to see what's around me, especially in a country like South Africa where everything is spectacularly beautiful like many other parts of the world. So I'm just going to do this again. I'm going to walk regularly and show you how I pull up the leg, step to pull up the prosthetic leg. And as I said, if you're going to go the other way, if you have to go down a hill, do it sideways so you can get that extra clearance. And then back again, of course. And then maybe it's a bit of a longer walk, but certainly it makes it a lot safer. So whenever you get to a downhill, what I do is I go from because my left leg is amputated, I go from the far left of the hill and I try and move across to the far right. So if this is a road, for example, I will go to the far left of the road and I'll walk slightly across downhill so that I've got this clearance on this leg. Even if it's a millimeter or two, it does make such a difference in mitigating or preventing that toe strike. All right, guys, I'm going to do the hill. So the whole idea, if you have a leg with resistance, is to ride the knee. But what I mean by that is where you got to trust it, is to let the friction, the resistance ride the knee. And I find that the best way to do that is to drop my center of gravity just a little bit, not a lot. I'm not going to go down on a duck walk. I think that's unnecessary. But to drop my center of gravity just a little bit. And I do that by bending the good leg just a little more, as you can see. And it gives me that extra ability with the leg to step up, straighten the sound side, to create a bit more space between the swell and my amputated leg. So I drop the knee a bit, swing it through, knee a bit, swing it through, knee a bit, swing it through. All right, I hope you get the general idea. When I go uphill, the same applies to what I spoke about when you go downhill, which is for me, it's the left leg. So I will start on the far right-hand side of the road, going uphill, the uphill strip, and I'll walk diagonally across the strip to the top left-hand side. So in that doing so, I give this leg the best possible swing that you can in order to, as you can see, if you do it the other way around, you're inclined to want to hit the toe. So just to explain that again, when I walk uphill, I'll stand in front of the strip, I've got to walk up, and I'll walk from the one side diagonally across the other with a prosthetic leg on the lower side to give that extra space for a leg swing. Just creates an extra bit of millimeter, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 to be able to get across the space. Okay, at all times the idea is safety, and we talk about legs and feet, and something that is not considered enough is having the right footwear with proper grip. And I'm not sponsored by Salomon, but this is what I wear, Salomon Speedcross 3, and it's got fantastic grip, two-way traction to be able to stop any slide. It's got a nice soft rubber compound at the bottom of the sole that really grips the swale, even in slightly mossy conditions, as you see we've got here today. All right, so let's go through everything that I've said. First up, the straight walk is to use the arms, hips forward, straighten the back, head up. And of course, if you've got the slope going to the one side, we can really get into that and really do it well. It's just practice, guys. It comes with time over the years. It was never like this for me in the beginning. And then if we're going to go uphill, if you have a knee that doesn't offer resistance, there's the shuffle, of course, which is up and foot next to, up, foot next to, up, next to, and so on. And the same, if you go downhill, is to put it down and bring your sound leg to follow. That way you don't have to ride the knee, because of course if you don't have resistance, the knee is going to give. Once you get used to it and you get your gait sorted, you can plant your feet a little bit wider when you go uphill, and what that does is it gives you the traction from both sides. So it's almost as though you're straddling, well, it's a bit of a duck walk, I guess, but it definitely works. It definitely helps to widen the feet just a little bit. Yep. And then for the downhill is to remember to drop the center of gravity just a little bit. In other words, to bend the sound side knee just a little bit to give you that extra balance and extra control that you might need. All right, guys, short video today. That's my story right now. I hope this helps. If there's anything in particular you'd like me to go through again, drop me a note in the comments below. Let me know if these videos help in the comments below, please, guys. I'd love to hear from you. Try my best to answer all the messages, but don't always get to that. All right, listen, thanks for joining me for today. I will catch you guys on the next one. Ciao.